I'm going to begin the presentation with a short video to show those of you who are not familiar with the fair a quick context. It was created by National Public Radio last summer.
I'll throw one nickel at your bottle and try to win a dream. Oh, step right up, try your luck at the carnival of love. So if you want to meet the bar.
To describe the fair, it's a hard thing to do. There's really nothing like it that I've ever seen on the planet. The festival itself is 3 days. This Saturday, we were a sellout day with over 18,000 people.
Last year's the first time I ever came, and I kind of laughed and thought it was hippie Disneyland.
Instead of Mickey Mouse ears, kids get fairy wings here.
This is a significant place. People have gathered here for ages.
What you just saw and heard was a sample of the wonders of the Oregon Country Fair. The fair is a 3-day event that attracts over 40,000 people in early July, but the place is dynamic year-round. The focus of my project is to evaluate and enhance the Indian Creek Entry Corridor and Plaza on the fair's 280-acre site it owns near Veneta, Oregon. 5 areas of focus, including restoration, human environment, transportation, fair values, and archaeology, will be used to form a program for the study area. The success criteria will be measured through levels of water quality, habitat, integrity of the site, and aesthetic value. My plan for the future entry corridor is derived from the needs of the people using the space as an active, fair place, and from the needs of the landscape as a critical habitat area. My intent is to create a proposal that is flexible and responsive of the fair's needs. Over my 20-year experience at the fair, I have volunteered on many crews. Most recently, I have been a member of the Vegetation Management Erosion Control. Our purpose as a crew is to monitor and facilitate the natural vegetative and hydrologic patterns of the site and to prevent and maintain erosion around the creeks, rivers, and floodplains. The Oregon Country Fair is an annual arts, crafts, education, food, and entertainment event. The site is flooded several times per year and includes uplands and wetlands, forests and prairies, native and non-native plant species, wildlife habitat, campsites, parking lots, roads, bridges, paths, and work zones. The site was used for seasonal gatherings for thousands of years by the Chela-Mela Band of the Kalapuya Indians, making the fair site the oldest known archaeology site in Western Oregon. During the fair in early July, the most intensively used part of the property is shown here in yellow. The interior of the fair is characterized by the term of the 8 because of the shape of the path system. The Oregon Country Fair site is located 14 miles west of Eugene on the west bank of the Long Tom River. The entry corridor sits adjacent to non-inventoried but state-regulated wetlands. Prior to any farmland on site, a historic lake existed in the southeastern parking lot. The wetlands have reformed since the previous agricultural farm as a result of material and mineral deposits from the seasonal flooding. For the reasons I have mentioned, the fair is seen as a critical habitat and archaeological hotspot within the region. Therefore, my first goal for this project is to protect the ecological and archaeological integrity of the site. The Indian Creek is approximately 3 miles in length, and its headwaters are in the lower coastal range. The creek makes its way through farmlands and woodland forests, where it drains onto the fair's property in the west in 2 constructed channels, and in the northwest from broad wetlands. The western portion of the fair is known as the unorganized territory. It is highly inaccessible by humans and provides important habitat for many species. During the winter months, the creek channel floods and drains the parking lots in the unorganized territory, recharging the aquifer and providing the periodic disturbance that is important for a healthy wetland ecosystem. The current stream ecology of the entry corridor study area is characteristic of high water temperatures, simple channel characteristics, and minimal vegetative diversity. As cited in the natural flow regime, a paradigm for river conservation and restoration, the ecological integrity of river ecosystems depends on their natural dynamic character. The Indian Creek has been channelized, and one of my goals is to give it a more natural form. The former agricultural land on the property has been retired from production for at least 3 decades. Because of the farming productivity, it was seen as vital to improve the drainage of the fields. And therefore, the Indian Creek located on the fair's property was turned into a constructed trapezoidal channel. During water recession from the flooded state, the trapezoidal channel funnels the water towards the Long Tom River, causing the scouring of the creek's sides and bottoms and initiating a loss of material and nutrient flow between the channel and the floodplain. Preventative measures would be to widen the creek and lower the gradient of the banks. Mature cutthroat trout travel up the stream during floods to spawn in the beaver ponds. Their offspring use seasonal high water to migrate down to the river. The floodwaters retain naturally in this area because of the creek's diverse channel patterns, beaver dams, and natural vegetation patterns, providing fish habitat and water for animals. My second goal is to restructure the channelized creek in a more natural, flood-retaining form by creating pools, meanders, broader sloped banks, and enhanced riparian planting. In 2001, portions of the North Bank were excavated to form a broader, more meandering channel with a lower gradient bank. Invasive plants, such as reed canary grass, were removed and native wetland grasses and shrubs were planted. The Creek Restoration Project was funded by the Oregon Watershed Enhancement Board and by the Oregon Country Fair. The restoration is a key precedent for my study area, and I am optimistic that a new restoration proposal could result in similar funding from OWEB and the fair. The boundaries of my study area are the 2001 restoration site to the west, the interior edge of the 8 on the east, Henderson Woods and Campgrounds to the north, and Miss Piggy's Lot and the historic lake in the south. The central axis of the site is the Indian Creek, flanked by Chatham Road. Chatham Road is currently used for all access needs, both cars and people. The major flow of traffic is from the west to east in the morning to usher people into the fair. On Saturday of the fair, we have a sellout crowd of over 18,000 people. Nansley's Bus Road is the primary road north of Indian Creek. Buses and emergency vehicles only use the road during the fair. It is a priority road for vehicular travel all times of the year and stays out of the flood zone most of the time. The buses bring people to the bus stop near the entrance, turns around, and then exits. The public who choose to drive, bike, or walk use the Dragon Plaza entrance.